Hello and welcome. He's the man who invented the term business process outsourcing. Well, maybe not literally, but brought business process outsourcing or process outsourcing, as it was called then, more than a decade and a half ago to India. With me is Pramod Bhasin, Vice Chairman of Genpact, and more interestingly, the venture that we're going to talk about, the Chairman of the Skills Academy, right? A new company that's going to focus on a very, very critical shortage in this country.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, thank you very much for joining us.
My pleasure.
So we'll come to the skills in a moment.
Please.
And because you're so sort of known and associated with the outsourcing space, how are things looking there as we enter 2013 or as we go into 2013?
I think pretty good. I think very good. In fact, given the circumstances, 12 to 14% growth on this kind of base is faster growth by I can't think of any other industry that is growing this fast. Maybe Mongolia's economy is growing faster, but there aren't many other places. And the reason for it is this is no longer a nice to do, it's a necessity.
Right.
Companies have to do this. It's not a fad, it's not something new to be tried out. It's been tried and tested, and it's just like buying, manufacturing parts from China. You don't do any serious retailing or selling, I don't think today, unless you buy stuff from China. Similarly, I think buying services from India is reaching that kind of level of maturity, and that for us means long runway for growth for many years ahead.
Right, and the skill is an area which is obviously in getting into this space, you're filling a need that your previous industry, so to speak, or the ones we were associated with, created. Right.
Yes, it is. I mean, although the Skills Academy that we're talking about will train people not just for this industry, but also in construction and retail and everything. Employable skills and employable graduates is a huge need in India. At Genpact, we recruit 8% to 10% of the people who apply because the rest aren't actually employable. They all come with graduate degrees. It's a tragic waste of money. It's a tragic waste of resources in colleges and schools which aren't teaching them what they need to learn. And most of all, it's a tragic waste of our demographics.
Yeah.
We've got this youthful demographic dividends, we call it. But these kids who are coming out aren't trained to interview properly, to understand what a job means, what it takes to succeed, how to build a career.
Even something as simple as that, or maybe not so simple.
It's at it. Yeah. Well, maybe not so simple, but it's also very basic. Come to work on time every day. You can't show up half an hour late. Make sure that you tell you're responsible. Make sure that you behave in a manner that is professional. What does all of that mean? Most people don't know. Their parents don't know, haven't taught them. Their teachers don't know, or have chosen not to teach them. And they don't tell them how to build careers. So these poor kids are in the middle of this cauldron, running around looking for jobs like unguided missiles.
But would a kid who has some of these issues willingly sign up for a course, paying good money to learn something that he or she may feel, but I already know this, or why do I need to learn this? We
have to be able to get them a job better than what they could get themselves. That's a fundamental premise. If we can't do that, this won't work.
Right.
It may not work anyway, and if I lose a lot of money, I'll ask you for a job, Govind, but right now we're going to try it. But I think we have to demonstrate, both for them as well as for employers. So one, I want to put these kids at the heart and at the center of our company. That's who we are there for. If anybody comes to us and says, I need training in whatever, our job is we will give it to them. And then connect them with a job which hopefully is a lot better than any job they could get. For instance, if you talk to a lot of these kids who've come out of college or have actually not made it past school, and you ask them, how do you get a job? Word of mouth. How do you write an interview? Resume? Well, we do it ourselves. How do you go for an interview? Have you thought about it? No, we have no idea. And therefore, if you can help them get past that, connect them to a job in an organized manner, I think that in itself will solve a part of the problem.
So what's the kind of opportunity you see for organized initiatives like yours in skills?
We're at an early stage, so I think it's too early for me to sort of think about it. But the opportunity in sort of generic terms should be huge, right? But we have to get our brand name there. The other issue in this area is there are 1,000 fly-by-night companies who provide terrible quality training at prices which are trying to make money. You've got all kinds of universities popping up which just don't provide the basics of training. And in fact, these youngsters know what they're doing. So if you go to many colleges out there, they're empty.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why they're empty, is because their degrees are not valued. So they know what they're doing. Finding the right business model will be interesting, but I have faith, perhaps naively, that if we provide very high quality training, which gets you a job that you couldn't get otherwise, that people will be willing to pay for that. And if you look at some areas, you look at old companies like NIIT, you look at the FIT-G exams, when people are paying a lot of money to get through, people pay where there is a real view of quality. They don't where they think I'm not going to get enough out of it and it costs too much money.
Last question. I think, and you also have to build tremendous scale to make the right kind of margins, isn't it, in skilling?
I don't think it's tremendous scale, but we would like to build tremendous scale, because that's why I've got into it. I didn't get into it so I could train another 20,000 people. We did that every year at Genpact over the last 15 years. I have no wish to repeat that exercise. But I think if we can touch 500,000 people a year, that's scale. And we need to hit that. I think you can hit scale in terms of profitability because it's so patchy, probably at 1,000 people or 500 people. And I think if you have a business model of quality and working with employers who respect the caliber of individuals you bring to them, you can make money. To make an impact, and hopefully we're doing this to make a real impact, we have to hit, I don't know, can we do 500,000 a year? It sounds like a totally ridiculous number. But then unless you start with that kind of a dream, you'll never even try and get there.
And well, I mean, I think on a last note, I would really wish you all the best, because you've demonstrated scale. You've also demonstrated that you can build something almost out of nothing in this world. So I wish you all the best with the skills initiative as well.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very
us.
much.